I'm Adam Shaw. I play drums.
My name is Michael Heflin. I'm the lead guitarist.
I'm David Dent, and I do vocals and guitar for Almost Maine. It's been a long time coming for this whole thing. We had studio time booked, and then right at the end of 2014, we lost Sean and Christian. And so we figured the best use of our time was to sit down and write. So we started to do that, and that was kind of like the cornerstone. Like, we decided that's when we were actually gonna follow through on an entire album.
In the studio! Average day in the recording studio. Basically, we'd start at 9 in the morning. Tracking rhythm guitar, tracking bass.
Oh, that's weird to get used to, okay.
Bass has been really interesting. Most of the tracking for that was left to me and Mike.
Between Michael and Mike Anderson, I think we have quite the phenomenal bassist.
He would push us as musicians to find things that we haven't done before.
He's really been like our fighting force and our dude the whole time. And our guy Nick that we've always recorded with, he's a lot less like a business partner and more like our band best friend. If it wasn't for Nick and if it wasn't for Mike, we absolutely would not have pulled this thing off.
I got you the Let's Record Drum Starter Pack. Aspirin and Band-Aids.
Week 2, Adam finished drums like a champ, like he always does, because he's a rhythmic god.
Let's go. Primarily, it was running through the whole song like three, 4 times, and then we'd start taking it by sections to get everything as tight as possible. My hands got ripped to shreds, but that's what you get for tracking like 4 days in a row.
I don't like wearing gloves, but it's a necessary evil right now.
I barely squeaked out. Keep the Faith though, that was awful.
Well, Keep the Faith was actually the first song we've ever tracked without a bassist.
So we got to take all of that bass part and we got to take control of it, which was really nice.
I like that. And Michael and I had been working on this intro piece. It's probably at this point, my second favorite lyrics on the album.
So, on your breaths on the way in, I kind of want to make these breaths almost like quarter note gasps.
Okay. They actually wrote all of the drums and everything while I was on vacation. Flying back, I downloaded it to my phone on the airplane and turned it on. And I literally got goosebumps because I was so excited because we'd never done anything like that.
Musically, all the guitar that you're hearing has been David and I collaborating back and forth.
Michael's an incredible guitar player, and he's really creative in getting some really interesting, defining guitar parts.
Close Only Counts and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades and Call of the Dead and 2187. We actually all sat down together and wrote everything at the exact same time.
2187, Horseshoes, Call of the Dead are probably my top 3.
Close Only Counts and Horseshoes and Hand Grenades is about a guy and a girl, or a guy and a guy, or a girl and a girl, however you want to see it. You get so close, and then everything falls apart.
Basically, I just took the word almost and wrote a song about it, but I figured calling a song Almost by Almost Maine is redundant and stupid.
The song lyrically and musically is very heavy. Pop punk with a 7/4 time signature. You don't find that ever. I've never seen that.
Following that, we ended up coming up with Call of the Dead, which is about a video game, and we got to use samples from the video game, which is kind of cool.
I really like 2187.
2187.
2187 is pretty personal.
That song is special to me because it's personal and I don't want to get into it.
That was probably about the meanest that I got for this album, but it's a fun song.
It's just really fast and a lot of weird timings on things, especially the second verse.
There's 1 or 2 times where I kind of got lost, but it wasn't too noticeable.
And getting that in the studio, getting every hit so defined and hitting as hard as I possibly could, a little difficult to do sometimes.
I want to say that Suspect was kind of like the turning point of the album. This was the first time ever in Almost Maine history that we decided to sit down and just write what we thought sounded cool.
I've got an idea around the edges to get the wording down, so.
That's one of my favorite songs on the album. I came up with that in David's basement, and he was showing me the song. I don't remember what it was, but he was like, I really love like the Latin feel of this and the chords, and they're like really like minor based or whatever. So I was like, okay, what do you think of this? And we were just jamming on an idea, and it became Suspect.
That was written about a relationship of mine that was 2.5 years long that ended up ending right as we started the pre-production process. And so it was really kind of like the catharsis that I needed.
Colors has been, we've been writing that song 8 months ago, I want to say. Maybe even longer than that.
That was the first time that we really worked together to write guitars that went together and were purposely written for each other.
David and I sat down, he's like, here, check this out, see what you can do with it. And we made that the most like pop rock song we could.
I did have some help from my good friend Mauricio. He helped me write colors mainly because I kind of hit a wall with that song.
The music behind it is just amazing, and I love that song to pieces.
Easier would probably be like stuff like Riptides.
Our song Riptides is by far my favorite song on this album thus far, both lyrically and musically. I just think it's a really good song.
That song's about all the bullshit that people have to deal with on a daily basis.
So maturity changed because we went from writing about the fake high school stuff to the deeper stuff that people don't really always talk about. Like, this song deals a lot on like depression and feeling very alone in life, and wanting to rise above that. I think that it shows. It's by far my favorite song.
Let's keep going.
From there, we moved on to all of our singles that we released, being Keep the Faith, Tina Marie, Star-Crossed Lovers, which was our first new almost Maine sound, if you want to call it that. Mackenzie Culver came in, she did her vocal part.
Chemistry is like we've never seen. Hopelessly falling for all my.
Since Beginner's Luck, we've gone through 3 band members, so there you go.
So we started looking at our old songs that we had. We pulled Pillow Talk and I Told You So for Beginner's Luck, and we basically kind of gutted them and redid them.
The revisions we made weren't necessarily for the studio. We made those revisions a long time ago live anyway. For this album, we just kind of took what we played live and recorded it that way.
Adam would love that too. You know that he would love to do it.
It doesn't sound like it was written by 15-year-olds.
New and improved.
More like 16-year-olds.
Hey, now this one doesn't need much tweaking. 4 hours later.
Probably one of the bigger setbacks for the entire album was when we got to the studio, we thought that 3 weeks was going to be enough time, and
Week 1 is down for the count.
so not true.
We've been in here for 13 days. This makes our 14th day. We'll probably end up being in for about 1 more week.
Luckily, Mike brought in all of his own recording equipment, and pretty much the entire time, if not the entire time we were in studio, we were either tracking 2 guitars, bass and guitar, drums and guitar and vocals. Like, it was always 2 things being tracked at the same time.
It is day 14, and I am sick.
So Dave got sick in the studio, and I kept my distance from him.
I couldn't sing for the last week and a half that we were in the studio, which is great for when you're, paying for studio time, and it was by far the worst thing that could have happened.
With the combination of me constantly playing drums and just wearing out my body every single day,
It hurts so much.
I was sore, and I also got sick the day after I finished tracking, and then I couldn't move my fingers.
It looks like I'm crying, but I'm really having a heat stroke.
Track bass. The bass guitar.
There was not a challenge of not having a bass player.
If we never picked up another bassist, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
It's a good thing we don't have fun in the studio. Can you imagine if we had that would be terrible. God, this song sucks. Oh yeah, I knew this day would go. She's straight.
Cyclops. It could be Star Trek too. It could be Cyclops and Star Trek. Eat all the grass that you want. Accidents happen.
I'm fat. I don't care.
Imagine if we ever screwed around.
I hope everyone really enjoys this new album. I'm really proud of it. I know Michael and David are as well.
I really hope more than anything that people draw from it what we've drawn from it, and realize that everybody has a story, and that those stories are what make us who we are, and that they're really important to everybody. So I'm hoping that people really do get excited about this.
If beginner's luck was like here, stories is like up. You can't see it anymore.
We're a completely different brand. We're a completely different band at this point, but we definitely have a new sound. I hope people like it and kind of will transition with us. Thank you for your constant support. Really does mean a lot.
To the fans of the music, we hope you guys enjoy it.
You too can pick up your copy of Stories on June 23rd.
I'm losing faith. Keep going.
I feel like I'm gonna hit it trying to be an idiot with this.
I'm losing faith. Oh my god!